Yeah, welcome back everyone. In this video, I will be talking about how to perform CO assessment for your examination. We already know that the CO assessment is a continuous process, and uh, after every assessment, that is, we need to perform the CO this assessment in order to find out uh, which particular COs we are achieving and which are not. So here at CBIT, we have the following procedure which you are able to see on your screen. So the first step here is to that means record the COs of each question in the question paper, and then from the answer scripts, the question wise marks obtained by each student is noted, and then question wise marks are converted to COY marks. So this procedure, let us just try to practically implement and see what does it mean. Shown here is a sample question paper of one of the course, that is computer organization and microprocessor. It is only used for sample here, just for demonstrating the process of CO attainment. So as it is a practice at CBIT, we mark the COs of every question in the question paper itself. So in this question paper, as you can see, there are two parts, part A and part B. Part A carries 3 questions, and part B, we have 2 long answer questions. Each question in part A is of 2 marks, and each question in part B is of 7 marks. These questions are actually can be subdivided as A and B. So under question number 4, you have 2 sub questions, that is A and B. Similarly, the question 5 is divided into 2 sub questions, that is A and B. As you can see in this question paper, every question paper is mapped to a particular CO of this particular course. For reference, if you would like to know what are the COs of this particular course, let us just have a look. These are the COs of the course which we are considering right now. Computer organization and architecture. So CO number 1 is to discuss the basic structure and organization of computer system. CO2 is to apply fixed and floating point arithmetic algorithms. CO3 is to explain instruction cycle, register transfer, and micro operations. CO4 is to discuss about RISC and CISC. CO5 is to explain about IO organization, and CO6 is about discussing about memory organization and management. These outcomes are written prior to 2016, so they may not reflect the Bloom's taxonomy to the full extent, whereas the new curriculum, that is R18, which is being followed in CBIT right now when I'm recording this video, they are well defined CO statements recorded according to Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, let us just leave that apart. Let us come back to our discussion. Here, as you can see, these COs, they are now mapped to the question paper, which I have already shown you earlier. So this is our question paper. Yeah. If we can relate this question paper with the previous COs, we can find that each question is mapped to an appropriate, more appropriate COs. So once you have this thing, so we have completed the step number 2 in the process. Yeah. Coming back to the CO assessment procedure. So we have completed the step number 1, that is the COs of each question paper is specified, each question is specified in the question paper. As I've already shown you, it is a practice in CBIT to write the COs when framing the question paper itself. So we are ready with the step 1. The step 2 is to now note down the question wise marks obtained by each student from the scripts. Okay, this is a bit time taking process. You have to go through every script and note down the marks, question wise marks, into the Excel sheet. Let us see how we do it. So here is one sample sheet. Okay, a dummy sheet I have taken, not the real one. So here you can see there are 5 questions, 1, 2, 3, 4A, 4B, 5A, 5B. Let us assume the student have answered something, and based on that, these are the marks awarded, which are shown in the red color here. So for question number 1, 2 marks, question number 2, 2 marks, question number 3, 1 marks. So these question marks, we are supposed to now record it in the Excel sheet. Okay, so now let us take an Excel sheet. Yeah, you can take a dummy sheet. So here I will enter some basic information which will help me in identifying this data once I'm done with the data entering part. Okay, so I will note down for which academic year this particular sheet is. Okay, so this is very important to note down, because down the line you may not know for which particular academic year you have calculated. So just to keep a record of that, the first thing I would like to enter is an academic year, followed by that program, because here we have 3 different programs: BE, ME in EC VLSI, and ME in ECCE. Okay, so therefore in order to differentiate that, I write this program also. Then class. Okay, so let us say I am taking for the third section E3, and now the course for which I'm writing this. So let me check my question paper. If you have not course name, I'm doing for computer organization and microprocessor. So this is my course name. I can simply copy from here. So let me copy the course name, and this is mid-1 examination, and I will paste it in my Excel sheet. Yeah, I'm pasted here. Right. Now, the type of exam it is, or the assessment it was. So here we have mid-1, mid-2, and semester and examination. This was mid-1 exam. So let me write that. So now I can start noting down the question. So why step number 2 said I have to note down the question of each student. So for that, I will just make a table here, okay, which consists of serial number, roll number of the student, and his question wise marks. And because I know there are 5 questions, we have already discussed this. So let me just name them: question 1, question 2. You can also drag this thing, question 3, 4. Okay, so I need actually 4, because in 4 you have 4A, then you have question 4B, question 5A, and question 5B. Yeah, once I have noted it down, what I will do is, before I note down the marks of the students, let me go back to the question paper and note down the marks of each student and their COs. So let us just refer back to the question paper now. Yeah, so you can see here question number 1, 2, 3 is for 2 marks, 4A is for 4 marks, 4B is for 3 marks, 5A is for 4 marks, and 5B is for 3 marks. Okay, the same thing I will now enter into the sheet, and then come back to this particular sheet. So I'm into my Excel. So the maximum marks allotted, max marks as per question paper. Okay, so that I will be writing on the top: 2, 2, 2. 4A is for 4, and 4B is for 3, 4, and 3. Now let me note down their COs. Again, I would be referring to the question paper for noting down the COs. You can see question number 1 is CO1, question number 2 is CO3, question number 3 is CO2. Okay, so let me first write this. So it is CO1, 3, 2. Similarly, I can write for the other. Yeah, now I've completed marking the COs. Now let me mark the marks obtained by each student seen the script. So serial number 1, So the roll number of the student 1601 is CBIT series. Let me see what marks he has got. We have actually referred to this earlier in the video. Let me again play that. So the marks he got was 2213123. Two two one 3123. Three, 1, 2, 3. Right. You can see here roll numbers are not visible properly. So for that, it is not a big issue. You can just go and format these numbers. Just go to formatting. The format cells, select it to be a number with 0 decimal points. It looks fine. If it is not, you can just adjust this sheet like this. Similarly, I would like to enter for all my students. There are 20 students in my class, I'm assuming, for this example. Similarly, let me extend the roll numbers. You can use the drag options of CBI of Excel for making your job easier. Now let me go to the second sheet. This was the first one. Now if we see the seconds. So here the marks obtained by him is 2224320. Two, 4320. Similarly, for the third student, again I will go back to my video and let's see what the third student. Yeah. The process is continued until the last number marks are entered. So 2224343 is the last marks. Two, 4343. Yeah, once you are done with this procedure, now we are supposed to analyze whether we have attained our COs or not. For that, what the first step what you have to do is to combine this into COIs. So let us just refer to the procedure. We are completed with second step. So what is the third step? Is so from the answers, second step was from the answer script of question wise, the question wise marks obtained by student is noted. We have noted it down. It is a time taking process. Second step is a time taking process. And third one is the question wise marks are then converted into CO wise marks. So in order to do this, we have to again go back to our sheet, identify which questions map to CO1. For example, this is the question marks to CO1. There is no other question mapping to CO1. Okay, when we talk about CO2, these two questions are mapping to CO2, 3 questions are mapping to CO2, and there are 3 questions mapping to CO3. So let me just combine them CO wise. So for that, what I will do is I'll create another table here where my columns will be CO1, CO2, and CO3. Okay, and the maximum marks allotted for this CO1 and CO2, I am going to get it from here. So there is only one question. So let me just highlight this question by drawing this. So there is only one question with CO1 of 2 marks. So therefore CO1 marks are going to be only that. Similarly, now CO2, the total marks of CO2 is when I combine this question 3 because it is related to CO2 plus question 4a because it is also related to CO2 plus the marks of question 4b because it is also related to CO2. So I get the total maximum marks that was allotted to CO2 in my question paper. Similarly, I can proceed like this to get the maximum marks for CO3. So therefore question number 2 was mapped to CO3. Question number 5A is mapped to CO3 and question number 5B is mapped to CO3. So let me add them. So this is the marks of each maximum marks of each COs in the question paper. Now I need how many marks student got CO wise. So for that, again, what I will do is I'll just copy the roll numbers from here to here. Okay, let me just expand this. Now I have to add the student marks. Okay, so because I know the marks attained by him for CO1 will be whatever marks he got for question number 1, because only that question is related to CO1. Similarly, the marks attained by him for CO2 is when I combine the marks obtained by him for this question, question 3, question 4A, and question 4B. Similarly, the marks obtained by him for CO3, I am going to get that when I combine his marks obtained for second question, 5A and 5B. So these are his marks. You can again use the drag feature of Excel to extend this formula to all the students. So likewise, you get all the student, how many marks are stored by each student in for a particular CO, right? So this is, we have completed with this, we have completed the third step. Now let us move on to the fourth step. So the fourth step is the maximum marks allotted to each CO is calculated. We have already done it by adding the maximum marks allotted to each question from the question paper that were belonging to a specific COs. Now the fifth step is based on the maximum marks allotted to a CO, a threshold level of COX is calculated. So we need to calculate something called as threshold level. This is which is in terms of marks. And how we calculate threshold level? It is the maximum marks multiplied by threshold percentage into 100. The question is, what is this threshold percentage? Threshold percentage is something which is actually set between, that means it is a benchmark based on which you are comparing whether the student has passed or attained the value or not attained the value. So this benchmark is decided based on other criteria. We will have another video discussing about that. But for time being, we will assume that this is just 40%, because in CBIT, whenever a new course is introduced, we always choose its threshold percentage to be 40%, which is later on changed or increased based on student performance. So for time being, assume that threshold percentage is 40%. Now, let me go back to my sheet. So in the sheet, now let us write something called as threshold value, threshold marks. So what will be the threshold marks for CO1? As it was said, it is simply the maximum marks of CO1. Maximum marks, we have it here, multiplied. This is multiplied by 40%, because for fresh course, we always choose 40%. Later on, this is modified based on feedback and student performance, divided by 100. So once we put that, we get threshold 1 marks as 80%. The question again is, why 40%? We choose 40% here at CBIT. The reason for that is because 40% is the passing marks for any course. Okay, so based on that, we choose this value. So 40% of 2 is going to be 0.8. Similarly, 40% of 9 is going to be 3.6. Here also for CO3, 3. So this is the threshold marks for CO1, CO2, CO3. So we are completed with step number 5. Now let us move on to the next step. What is the next step? The next step says, now the percentage of students, the threshold percentage, as I said, is set by CEG group, which expect the student to achieve for a particular CO. Okay, this percentage is expected to increase on a continuous basis. So this is one of the performance indicator or continuous improvement indicator, threshold level, what we have. Now the 8th step is to calculate the percentage of students scoring above the threshold level. How you are going to do that? You are going to number of students scoring above threshold level divided by total number of students into 100. So before doing that, we actually need how many students have actually scored above this 0.8. So out of my 20 students, how many of them have scored? So let me write that number of students above threshold. This is not visible, so let me just expand this here like this. Okay, so So I have to just see here and see how many of them are above 0.8. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. He is not above 0.8. Then 14, 15, 16. Again, he is not above 0.8. 17 and 18. So there are 18 students who are above this 0.8. Similarly, you can do it for the other COs as well. Similarly, I've done for the other COs. Now we need to convert this into percentage. So percentage above threshold. Above threshold. How will you get that? We have number of students above threshold. We know total number of student in my class is 20. So percentage you are going to get by dividing this number with 20 and multiplying it with 100. So let me just write a formula for that. So this divided by 20 into 100 is going to give me the percentage, right? Similarly, I will extend that for the other COs just by dragging, right? Now, once you have this value, this we call it as SCOX. This is S for CO1, S for CO2, and S for CO3. Now let us see what is the next procedure, next step. Right. So this we have completed step number 8. Percentage of students scoring above the threshold level S we have calculated. So now based on this X S, we have allotted attainment levels as 1, 2, 3. So if this S is between 55 and 65, we say the attainment level is 1. If this is between 65 and 75, we say it to be 2. And if it is above 75, it is 3. Okay, so let us just see where we are. Yeah, you can see this value is above 75. So the attainment level for this course is going to be 3. Okay, similarly for this course, it is going to be, it is above 75, so it is 3. So it is above 75, it is 100, so it is also 3. Right. So this is how we calculate the attainment level. So out of the 6 COs what we have for this course, CO1 to CO2, CO6, attainment level, the attained level for whatever you have got, level was here, it is 3 and 3 and 3. What about CO4, 5 and 6? They were not addressed. We have not asked any question related to CO4 or CO5 or CO6 in the question paper, in this mid-1 question paper. So obviously they are not covered here, and their attainment we don't know at this particular level. Okay, so they might be covered in some other assessment. So if you want to just see this graphically, you can also select this and insert a graph, insert a bar graph to check your values. So you can see the 3 attainment levels. You are reaching all the 3 attainment levels. Okay, so this is the way you can do an attainment course attainment for a given course. So hope you find this particular this method as simple and followable. Okay, we will come back with another video where we will discuss how to combine the attainment levels obtained through different assessments. So as you can have mid-1, mid-2, mid-3. So how are you ultimately going to combine them? So meet you there. Thank you for being here. Bye.